Oh my god.
Hello guys, welcome back. For those who are new, my name is Darlene. Welcome to my channel. I am doing for the first time a reaction video on Love is Blind. Guys, season 4, it is the best season so far. I always enjoy watching Love is Blind since the first season when it came out during the pandemic. You already know Cameron and Lauren are one of the best couple. So I was very pleased with that concept that you have to date without seeing the person, interacting, getting to know them, and eventually develop a connection, getting engaged, getting to the altar, saying yes or no. It is a concept that I have enjoyed, and every season I really get attached to the contestants. When I first started to watch this season, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. We had everything. We often have the profile of the person that's there to shock. Now we know that most of them that goes on that show, they get a huge following and a newfound fame, popularity, and this create opportunities for brand deals and so forth. So because of that, now I find that Love is Blind, it's shifting to a slightly different dating show. I still think it is a very valuable show for people to try to make a connection and meet their life partners. I really love that concept. This season, I have to say, after the pods and the honeymoon vacation in Mexico, I had only hope for one couple, and it will be no surprise, Brett and Tiffany, the most solid, serious, mature. The other couples, I had a few that I thought that maybe it would work, but there wasn't anything at the same level as Lauren and Cameron, except for Brett and Tiffany. You already know this is my favorite couple, but I'm doing a reaction to the finale, which was posted on Friday, the wedding episode. It was messy, it was giving, it was everything. The first wedding that we saw is Kwame and Chelsea. We were left on the last episode with Chelsea saying yes to Kwame. I really thought that he was gonna say no throughout the season. I didn't see Kwame really getting invested in the relationship. There was the whole situation with him having feelings and connecting with Micah first on the pods, and he still was talking to her, trying to see if she was really serious with her fiance Paul. I wanted Chelsea to wake up and to see this isn't it, it's not working. She was the second choice. With the history of Love is Blind, when you are the second choice, it usually doesn't end well. Ayana and Jared, that was a whole mess. So I don't know, I have a feeling that when they are in the pods, we the viewers, we have the privilege of seeing all the footage, all the interactions, how Kwame was acting and talking and really courting Micah when he was at that stage, and he was really ready to propose to her. He did propose in a sense. That's why she said to a failed proposal. When you compare that to the way he was interacting with Chelsea, she was the one putting herself out there since day one, all in on him. That's what we saw, at least. He was flattered, but he didn't seem to be into it. Even after the pods, during the honeymoon, when he met Micah, it was very disrespectful. He kept on trying to see if there was a possibility for them, if ever, to... That's my opinion. He was always trying to figure out if there would be an opportunity for them to be together, it seemed, in the future. So with all that being said, I was shocked when Kwame said yes at the altar to Chelsea. He said yes. at the end of the last episode, I thought that maybe he was going to say yes. The way that his sister, I loved her, Barbara, his sister and also his brother, I don't like when they only meet the parents or the family towards the end or the day of. I know it's really a rush process to give notice to your family, to make arrangements and stuff like that. I'm sure it's not the easiest, but I don't like when they only get to meet the family the day of the wedding. Yeah. Couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Anyways, all that to say that when his sister said, I hope you didn't made us come all the way just to say no, or she said something like that. When she told him that, even though he was super nervous and he seemed to be very hesitant and confused whether he was going to say yes or no, I got the feeling that he might say yes, but I was super surprised. Throughout all the experience, throughout all the weeks or the days they were living together, he kept on complaining. He said that he lived in Portland and he would have to move to Seattle. He didn't have his own space, that he felt that he was giving up a lot of things. She wasn't compromising on anything, which I agree with him. I think that Chelsea is a lot to handle. She came off as someone really controlling at times. I really like Chelsea, but the way she came across since day one, like I said, she was on Kwame. She had a vision for her life, when she would get married, when she would have kids, what she would do, the photo shoot ordeal. She only wanted someone to fill that position. Kwame was the one, I guess, she connected more on the pods. I believe she knew he was black. I don't know if she has dated black men in the past, but it seems that she was really attracted to him because of that. At times, I felt a bit uneasy. There was always a sexual tension. I think she was really looking for her black man. It's really how it came across. Even the day of the wedding, it's as if he was forced to say yes. I actually find he has a nice tone of voice, kind of sexy. I could do without his laughing all the time. He knows how to articulate himself. He knows how to talk, to give a good speech. His vows, top notch. He has a good personality that I understand what Chelsea saw in him. Beyond that, I find that she was really, really looking maybe for a certain type of man. That's all I'm gonna say. Am I happy for them? I'm always gonna be happy for any couple. I'm not sure if they're gonna last though. After they said their adieus, it was very uncomfortable and it was very awkward. I think Kwame was it was mostly Kwame that was awkward. Maybe it was awkward because it was a stressful moment and there's the cameras and you're being filmed, the pressure. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But he was really, really acting weird. And I was wondering, are you really happy? It was giving a vibe of Get Out. That's what I was getting from him. Anyways, I hope they work it out. I want to believe he knows what he's doing. We've seen that he had tried to get on another dating show, Married at First Sight, a few years, I think, ago. Nothing wrong with that. It just shows he was interested in finding a wife, getting married. So I hope he takes that seriously, the commitment that he just took with Chelsea. He lived with her for a while. He has seen her personality. He thinks they can mesh well together, build on a future together, a family, and whatever their heart desires. I hope it's not another case of SK from season 3. I can't wait for the reunion. Her reaction when she saw all footage of Kwame talking with Micah and him being hesitant between staying with her, him making advances. I'm not sure it was advances, but it wasn't that innocent. Doesn't look good, and I'm sure it didn't feel good watching all of those, especially if they are still together. So we'll see. We'll know for sure on the reunion. Before I go to the next couple, I also want to mention that the fact that Kwame's mother didn't give her approval, this is a red flag for me. I do hope that she came back around. She worked on building a relationship with Chelsea because I think it's very important to support the marriage of your son, even though you don't agree with his choice. I find that surprising that she was against it because it wasn't an African woman. That was his mother's wishes. I'm guessing that even though she's his best friend, he's not comfortable opening up about his relationships, his preference, anything like that. Anyways, the next couple, Micah and Paul. At first, because of the whole story of Micah and Irina was the worst. They were laughing at other women's pain, acting like some teenagers. It made for great TV. I just didn't enjoy her behavior at first, at the beginning. Once Irina left, she started to take seriously the process of getting to know Paul, which surprisingly seemed to go very well. She met Paul's mom. They seemed to get along very well. He met her parents. Her dad's name is Paul, so they connected on that. The mom was on the fence. She wasn't too impressed, but I started to really like that couple. I like Paul because he wasn't too enamored with Micah, how he was behaving with her compared to how Kwame was towards her. I 100% preferred how Paul was interacting with her. He didn't take at face value anything and everything that she was telling him. I really appreciated that from him. At the same time, I found that his voice was so monotone. He was kind of boring. I wasn't sure if it was gonna work with her. At first, she didn't seem attracted to him. She was flirting with Kwame. But then when Irina made some advances at her fiance, it triggered something inside her, and she said, okay, I'm gonna give it my all. It seems that she was afraid to lose Paul. She invested herself at that stage 100%. I was starting to root for them. I found them somewhat cute together. I love how he seemed to bring the best out of her. He seemed to keep her on her toes, and she did mention that at the beginning of the process. So I was very pleased to see them. They forged their own rings. They seemed to always have a good time together. They were really connecting physically also. Oh my God. At first, I didn't see it for them, but they are really starting to be a real serious couple. She didn't have the best start, but she might finish in a wonderful way, have her happily ever after. Who knows? Obviously, I have to bring up when she introduced Paul to her friends. We saw especially her friend Shelby. Okay, she seems to pick the worst friends ever. Your friends are a reflection of yourself, in a sense. I don't want to say that she's as bad as her friend Shelby seems to be, but I wonder why she keeps that kind of individuals in her circle. It really baffles me. Shelby doesn't seem to bring anything positive to her life. She always ran off her boyfriends. She totally disrespected Paul when she met him for no apparent reason. And Micah, she didn't take her fiance's back. She was upset that Paul didn't care to impress Shelby. I was clapping. It was rude of him in that moment, but it was well deserved because Shelby, she needs from time to time realize that she's not the queen in the place. I was surprised that Micah didn't take her fiance's back, and I was surprised she kept that kind of friend. We saw the mess of relationship that she had with Irina. I thought it was a one-time situation. What does she benefit from that? Is it because she's an only child? I didn't realize she didn't have any siblings. That could explain why she likes attention, to be maybe validated, getting attention from men, from her friends. She seems to be a very insecure person, and having people like Shelby in her life maybe makes her think she is someone important. I really don't know, but I find it sad. She thinks that the best that she can have is someone like Shelby. Honestly, I'm just disgusted how her friend Shelby doesn't seem to support her even during the most important moments in her life, you know? That's why I'm always grateful to have good friends, most of all, amazing siblings. I have an older brother. He's my best friend. I respect respect him. I look up to him. We're only 2 years apart, and I'm very grateful for him in my life. Thank you, God. I have a younger sister. We are almost 6 years apart. We are best friends. She's my baby sister who inspires me also, and I'm super grateful always, every day. When I see situations like that, like someone like Micah, maybe if she had siblings, she would be able to confide, ask advice about life or anything else to her siblings instead of having to deal with friends like Shelby. I just want her to find new friends because that was a total disrespect and letdown. Shelby wasn't really behind that decision of Micah getting married to Paul, but she was still in the wedding party. For me, honestly, again, if I know I would have a friend that is not supportive of my fiancés, my couple, my decision to marry someone, I wouldn't say I wouldn't invite them if it's a really, really close friend. But I don't know that I would want someone that I know who is against me getting married in my wedding party. I think I would pass on that and say, okay, you can have your opinion. I respect it. You have your whatever your reasons, but I wouldn't feel comfortable having them stepping up, being in the bridal's party, knowing they are against it. That's my 2 cents. Anyways, Paul, he was really confused on what he was gonna say. He was asking his friends whether he should say yes or no. You've been saying for the last episodes how you love Micah. She changed you in a better way. He was saying all the right words and he seemed to be really invested in the relationship. The only thing that seemed to maybe bother him, I would think, would be her friends and her immature side, but I was really getting good vibes from him and his friends. Most of them seemed to be behind him on saying yes to Micah. There was only one friend I remember who mentioned that he gave him an advice. Anyways, at the ceremony, Micah was walking down the aisle. I loved her dress. I really loved it. It was pretty simple but elegant. This year, I mostly liked the wedding gowns. Chelsea's dress, it's not memorable, but it was a nice gown. Micah's is one of my favorites. It's pretty timeless. It's elegant. I like her style, so I wasn't surprised that she chose a gorgeous gown. Other than that, Bliss, it's not my own personal taste, but for her, I found that gown was exquisite. It was different. I even liked the puffy sleeves. I liked it. Then Tiffany, at first when I saw the gown, I didn't like it. But the more and more I was looking at the dress, I started to find it beautiful. When I saw her in the dress, she was glowing. I think that might have influenced me this year. The gowns were nice. They were nice. In the past seasons also, there was a few that were nice, but there was a few also that I really didn't like. So anyways, let's get back to Micah. She went down the aisle. She was elegant in her dress. She was laughing all the way. That was really weird. It is at that point that I realized that maybe, just maybe, when she was always laughing during the pod phase, maybe it wasn't that vicious or that evil. It's quite weird, but I mean, if that's how she processed the stress or when she's in an awkward moment, I cannot fault her for that. So I started to give her some grace. I don't know for Irina, but I realized that she's not doing it on purpose. She was messy at times. Sometimes I think she was just laughing because she didn't know how to react. She didn't know how to express it otherwise. That walk down the aisle when she was laughing, I was like, girl, it was pretty weird. Paul was there. He was looking good. They asked Micah if she would take Paul as her husband. What does she do? I was so disappointed. She says that she's gonna do them, or did she say she was gonna do him a favor and let him go first? I'm pretty positive at that moment Paul made up his mind 100%. I think he was still on the fence. I think he had an idea. He was always struggling with yes or no. But that was the moment for her to just express herself and say, I do or I don't. I didn't didn't even know that you could do that. Say, oh no, you know what? Go first. In all the 4 seasons, I never saw that happening. This season, there was a lot of first. For real, I was very surprised. She said, you know what? I'm gonna let you go first. What happened next? Paul goes on to say he loves her. I was like, okay. But then he ends up saying no. I was so heartbroken for Micah. She was very hurt. You could see it in her face. She started to cry. Micah ran off. Paul went after her. He was trying to console her. She was upset. She was hurt. At that moment, her awful friend Shelby, she was smiling. She even said at some point, I need to be more drunk than this. What?
Relieved. Honestly, that's how I wanted it to go.
Then she said she had a feeling that he was going to say no, that she never felt safe. I can sympathize. It must not be easy to open up yourself to someone in such a short time. And I realized that she was really into him at that point. I'm not sure if she was always into him. I think in the pods, obviously, I think he was the one that she was most interested in. When she saw him, she wasn't sure. Then when Irina was interested in him, she started to really consider being serious with him. Would they have worked if he had said yes? Because she later said that if he had said yes, she would have said yes. Would they have worked? I'm not sure. Maybe. I remember when they came back from Mexico after the honeymoon, she was saying that the reason why Irina was interested in him is because he was good looking. And I had a feeling that she might have been into him or in love with him for the wrong reason. The only thing that I can give her is that she connected with him during the pod without seeing him. But right after the pod, she didn't seem to be that into him. When she felt that she might lose him, she really started to connect in a deeper level with him. Now I understand why Zach kept on telling Paul to tell her that you love her, that you care. Paul is lacking the ability to really express his feeling in romantic relationships maybe, but she also seems to have the same problem. She didn't feel safe. The moment that she should have stepped up was when she was supposed to say I do, even though he might have said no anyways. I think she would have felt better knowing that she put herself out there. Paul was feeling bad about his decision and was a bit unsure if he had made the right decision. So that shows me that he seemed to really care about her and he might have said yes. I really feel that he would have said yes. Maybe if she had been more sure. She wasn't ready. She has to work on herself. She has to reevaluate the people she keeps around her and the way that she conducts herself in social settings. There's a lot of things that she should be able to work on after this experience, and I think she will be just a better person for her next relationship. I really hope so for her. I'm sure I am forgetting some stuff. There was a lot going on during this season, so I cannot remember everything. I said most of the things that I wanted to say. I just want to remind you guys, I am not trying to put down anyone. I do sympathize with people that go on reality TV shows that are putting themselves out there. I'm sure it's not easy to watch everyone criticize you and have opinions on who you are and so forth. This is just so that we discuss, maybe learn something from different situations that we see. An experiment, as they said. This is trying to understand those people, and I do want to remind everyone that we have to give them some kind of grace as much as possible. It can be hard at times, especially this season. There will be a part 2 coming up soon where I will discuss Brett and Tiffany and Zach and Bliss. Stay on the lookout for that video. Let me know what you think about Kwame and Chelsea. If you think they're gonna last? What are your thoughts on Micah and Paul? Do you think he made the right decision? I forgot to say that one of the major reasons why he decided to say no, he said he couldn't see Micah as a mother. He didn't see her nurturing side. I feel bad that he said that, even though I understand a bit where he's coming from. I'm sure it's gonna be hurtful for her to hear that and see that, but at the same time, I really think it's the way that she was behaving, the friend that she has, Shelby, all that pettiness, that vicious side that she had really turned him off, I think. And these were not behaviors or traits that he thought a future mother would have. So I kind of feel bad for her because I really started to believe in them and I was really rooting for them. So anyways, let me know in the comments in the group chat, what do you think? What are your previsions? I can't wait for the reunion. Drop your comments down in the group chat. Guys, thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next video.